And we are back and we are live. Hello, good evening, everyone. We are sorry for our tardiness. Tonight we are talking upcoming features. But with us tonight we have GFA, who is Evocati, who shall be going over some of the trials and tribulations of the test. But how are you all doing?
No spoilers. No damn spoilers.
Spoil me.
I've been backing this thing
Spoil
since
me.
2013 and I've never got Evo Kart even though I test. No damn spoilers. This is
Honestly, you should see that it is absolutely there's so when you load in and you no, I can talk about it, but I can't show you anything about it.
Yeah.
But I can talk about it, and I don't. The spoilers, it's not going to be spoilers, right? You know all the features that are in, or that are have been spoken about being in, and they're the features that I've tested the most. So we're talking freight elevators, we're talking the kiosks, we're talking the hangars, like the persistent hangars. Like, it's cool, man. It is the first time. The first time your ship comes rising up on that cargo elevator into the hangar, let me tell you something. You are not ready for how cool it is. I called up the Carrack. Boy, oh boy. When that was just the sound effects, the sound design is like the chef's. It's fantastic, and I
the
can't wait for
chef's
you guys to see
kiss.
it. Yeah, it
Do
really
the
is. The
chef's
sound design.
kiss. You need to
It
do
was.
it.
It really was the chef's kiss. Just standing in the hangars, you just hear this, and the ship comes up the caution. Oh man, you're not ready. Yeah, it's very good. However, I think we're still a couple of weeks away from PTU myself, because it was very buggy, as we
That's
expect in Evo, and the servers were struggling as we
yeah.
expect in Evo.
That's probably optimistic as well.
I think so. Yeah, I want to say 3 weeks away from PTU,
Hmm.
and probably 5 or 6 away from live. Personally,
Yeah.
that'd be my estimation.
Well,
If you got any questions about the build, let me know. I'll answer what I can. But yeah, all I'd say is be excited. Be very excited. It's awesome.
I think
I think
one because like we've pretty much heard and have seen on the roadmap what is expected and what should be turning up. The thing that I'm really interested in is how much of a tweak is the prices in the economy going to get, and that is something that
Mm.
I find
mm,
interesting because that could dictate a whole new load of gameplay loops, could change the way that people do cargo, or trading even.
I
Uh,
think that's going to change massively from this one anyway. Who of us here watched the video today that came out
I
Not
haven't
yet,
about
yet.
that,
not
and
yet.
the one from yesterday about the trading? Because they showed, didn't they? There was that picture of all the different trade routes, and now all of a sudden every material has, a planet that it comes from, but a reason why it comes from, wasn't it? I think at one point they mentioned, actually, at some point some places might run out of fuel and ammunition if people aren't doing the missions to refuel it. And
But
I'm like, that's
was that
cool.
was that for today?
No,
Because they
that was yesterday. Sorry, that's me getting overexcited and
no,
mixing
no,
it
because like because
up.
they had a while ago they did it for Quanta. Tony
Mm,
Zervik had that video popped out where it's like, this is a refinery, this is a factory, this is where the AI go to pick the stuff up, and then when prices and stuff change, you can see them all branching off to new areas. The thing that I'm like the what was it 323 that's just gone, we had a big update to the Mobiglass, and one of the things I really can't wait for is a proper commodity trading app on the Mobiglass. None of this
mm.
journal, this is what prices are currently. Something so when you go to a station, you look and you've got sort of like the prices are being tracked, so you don't have to go to another screen and go onto Google to use an external tool. I just want to be in game. That would be sweet.
I think it's nice to see some of the things and the features that you talked about in episodes 1 and I think 2 of the prelogue or prologue to this. We're actually starting to see come in fruition, or just little breadcrumbs of it. Oh, it's going to be amazing. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that whole C1 video and reenactment myself, by the way, of the hangar.
I'm looking forward to having a reason to like start off with my smallest cargo ship, going up all the way up to the whole sea. Like that.
Mm.
That's gonna be sweet.
I think
Yeah, through the trading missions. Yeah, that's gonna be sick.
I think my main question would be server meshing in, working all cool, and then you've got 100 people at, say, Area 18 in their private hangars. Is there like any limit of how many of these private hangars there are? And if you open the hangar doors, where do those hangar doors open up to? Like, have they got the space for that amount of people? Or are you going to be on like a waiting system?
I think it would be a waiting system. I think
Oh,
how
I
it
agree.
works at the moment is you get shipped away. Your persistent hangar is like away from the main area. And then when you call for takeoff, you get sort of teleported to one of the hangars when they're available. Then you go.
Yeah.
The way it works now, so we all know that normally we go to the ASOP terminals, we scroll down the list, pick our ship, go, yep, and then we go into the lifts and we have a list of all the hangars. It says hangar, 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 dock, 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 whatever. Instead, what it says now, you don't even have to go to ASOP. Don't have to even touch it. You can go straight to the lifts, and then you get a list, and on that list you can then say, you know, it would say your name and then like large hangar or whatever hangar you have. So you can just go straight to your hangar. You can just bypass the ASOPs, and then once you're in your own hangar, you can then you've got a personal ASOP in there because they've sort of redesigned the interiors of the hangars, so they've where the freight elevators are and your ASOPs are, and then you can call things up and there's furniture and stuff that you can place around to decorate your hangar. So the whole
Can't wait for
idea is
that.
that it's kind of like you still have to get the tram to the ASOP to then get to your hangar, but you don't even have to touch the ASOPs in that communal area. You can just go straight to your hangar, and that's really nice because it does make it feel like it's an actual house. It's
Yeah.
like your place, which is
I-
really cool.
I'm right. I saw something as well, GFA. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I heard or saw someone say somewhere that the items for the hangar also snap to the cargo grid, so you could potentially have them like set up a picnic area in the back of your C2. I love
Yeah.
that idea that you can be like, gentlemen, come aboard for a business meeting, and you've set up like a table and chairs in the back of this ship of yours that you've got. A couple of guys stood around, like the in the distribution centers. They've got those like executive suite bits where you can sit on those fancy tables.
Yeah.
Just like set that up a bit in the back of your ship if you're doing like an arms trade or something. Like that could that's peak role playing. That is, I love that.
Yeah.
It does.
Oh,
Oh, go ahead.
no, go.
I'm just saying it does beg the question. Like, yeah, we've got furniture that we can place in the hangars right now, but how long will it be until we can actually take furniture and items out of our ships? Like the Carrack's got the pool table. The
Everybody move! I'm
Phoenix has
coming
got
through.
piano. Yeah, don't know how you're gonna get that thing through.
Yeah,
Don't
the
know.
doorway alone would be a struggle with the pool table.
Mm.
You're gonna have to like take it in half and put it through the window.
Yeah.
Then
But
pay
yeah,
the repairs for the window of the ASOP terminal. Yeah.
I mean, and then obviously crafting. Crafting, that's the thing that
Um,
I'm ultimately waiting for. I cannot wait to craft furniture in game and just be like, this is my new luxury set of chairs. Would you like to buy some? And then they just go, no.
I'd say yes, Ethan. I'd say yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I
Just-
think the thing that confuses me, just touching on before we move on, just touching on what you talk about, Swanky, in regards to like setting up your own like picnic area.
Yeah.
From what I've seen so far, and obviously this is obviously subject to change, but
Mm.
from what I've seen, the hangars don't have a lot of open free space to decorate. Do you remember do you remember the old hangar version of Star Citizen, the way before
Yeah.
the PT
I've
or the
seen
PU?
it. Yeah. I wasn't there, but I've seen it.
Did
Okay.
you have like the aero view or like what? Like which
I
one?
think I had all of them at one point. I had Revel in York, I had Aeroview, I had the asteroid one, the
Southland.
what's it called now. So Selfland. Like I think at some point, because I upgraded my ships as I went, I started with an Aurora and ended up with a Carrack, and then when I had the Carrack, it gave me a Revel in York or something. So I've
Yeah.
had all of them at some point, and it was really nice because you had your space for your ship to be landed, but then there was loads of free room and loads of rooms and special places for you to sit and actually decorate and make it feel like alive. What they've done with this to me is not quite there yet because it's just a bigger version of what we had, slightly redesigned, but there's not like a big open space to just like decorate from what I've seen anyway. I mean, I've only seen the large hangar, and from what I've heard, people I was talking, there was a few other content creators in the server that I was in, like Ollie was in there, Morphologist was in there, and we were just talking, and they were one of them said, I can't remember who, I don't want to quote them if I can't remember who it was, but one of them said, has anyone seen the extra large hangar? This thing is massive. You actually do need to take like a Grey Cat or an Ursa to get across it because it is that big.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really cool. I didn't get to see that because I only had the large with my Carrack or Odyssey. But I think if you have a huge ship, like I think everyone here, other than me, has some big boy ships, right? I think so. I think you're going to have the extra large hangar in the game. I need to come and see your extra large hangar when it comes in because apparently it's ginormous, but I haven't seen it.
You are more than welcome.
It's
Thank you.
humongous.
Humongous.
It's honestly, you should see it. It's definitely a big hangar, right? Everyone agrees. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right.
Wang, pay
I'm
attention.
gonna straight up call it the reclaimer when I get in. Just be like, oh,
And then put it away again, and then call it back again, and then put it away
Yeah.
again, and then call it back again. Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
no, it's definitely. I think there's definitely a good point there. Like the fact that it's just a supersized version of what we currently have,
Mm.
and having. I think there will be a need for having like rooms and stuff that detach off that because the old hangar system was kind of like the more ships you had, the more hangar space you would have in the
Yeah.
old version. It would just expand. Doors wouldn't open or anything like that. But it was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
And then like yeah, just having somewhere to have like bunks and stuff for you know,
Mm.
if you have crew and stuff like that and you don't want them going too far and they can just be like, right, just stay there.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And like having like walled off areas. So
Like an
as you
office
say,
space.
yeah. Yeah.
And Revel
not-
York should have a pool. Like
Yeah.
that- yeah.
Yeah, we're not quite there yet, but
Nah.
it is good, and it is a huge, huge step forward for gameplay and for immersion and for I think party gameplay more than anything. I feel quite
Oh,
disconnected. I don't know
absolutely.
about you guys. I feel really disconnected playing with my friends sometimes because everyone's at
Yeah.
a different space station and everyone's like, okay, I'll get this ship, I'll get this ship. Okay, then we'll meet over here. And I love the idea of like everyone on one location and then going, right, meet me in my hangar, and then everyone goes to so and so party member's hangar and you just hang out there. Kind of like the GTA heists when you're prepping. I
Yeah.
love the idea of that. Okay, everyone help me. We're going to load this all onto the ship, and then we're going to go. I think CIG have obviously have a track record with new updates where they make the new gameplay loop the most profitable gameplay loop, so they get the most amount of testing data. Because if they make cargo careers really, really like good money earners, then people will play them because they get
And they'll
to.
test it. Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
we expect they
Yeah,
will be, right? That
Yes.
is like what they try and do most times. So that
Mm.
hopefully, I'm really looking forward to it. Getting my 100 million back. Like it's been quite. I think that when the patch first dropped, and it was like, I can't believe I'm logging off with less money than I started with. Like, what's happening? Like, this is, it was pretty crazy when 323 dropped for the first time.
I think I agree with GFA in adding to the point of like at the moment, for example, if you go cargo running, there's no point for you to really have anyone else on your ship with you or kind of with you at the beginning bit. You press the button, it's on your ship. You come back, you sell it, it's off the ship. Maybe you have a fighter, someone in a turret. But now you're like, could probably do with a few of you, so we can unload it and load it and offload it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it becomes more vital if you want the bigger loads. I'm such a child.
Uh,
to
I
have
think
more of your friends help you. So yeah,
that's the thing though. Like GFA, you mentioned about like sort of being disconnected and detached from like with your teammates and stuff like that. I think it's going to be interesting when eventually, and I think they will do this. They allow admin rights to your hangar. So if you've got like a best mate that you trust 100%,
for
you
now.
just like, I'm parking all my cargo in my hangar. The price might go up on that, and if I'm offline, I want my friend to log on, be able to go to my hangar, pick it up, take it out, and maybe exchange ships. Like, yeah, you can come into my hangar and use my ships when you're online because I've given you admin access to that.
This brings me to a very, very good point of they need to at some point implement organizations and the ranking within organizations into that system. So you can have your org, you can give everyone their ranks within the org, and the certain ranks can interact with your hangar in certain ways depending on what access you give the rank within your org. So when you have a big org, you can say, right, everyone at this rank, they can go and manipulate the cargo and everyone else's hangars. But anyone below that rank can't. And then that's how you have that hierarchy. that
Yeah.
need to be in the game soon, but they haven't spoken about like how they're going to do the org stuff in the game for a long time. I feel like so. Hopefully we see that. I don't think we'll get it for a while, but I think that ties in perfectly to what you were just saying for sure.
Yeah, I think the last time they mentioned about org gameplay stuff was that lore post on the area 18 building. Like that's meant to be like a massive hub for like org gameplay and stuff like that, but I'm not too sure like how much they've fleshed out on that point. Yeah. So
But
you can't really tell us much more, can you? Because
no
think-
spoilers.
The thing is with the NDA with Evo, we are allowed to talk about it, and I can answer questions. It's just you can't show anything or provide any audio.
that's cool.
But we are allowed to talk about it. They have relaxed it a lot, so that's good, and I think it's healthy.
Yeah.
There's nothing negative to really say other than that, like Evo testing has bugs, shock, like we know that, and Evo testing server stuff. I mean, again, it's all stuff that we already know. So
What about
yeah.
cargo? Like, what about sort of like in terms of like commodity trading and stuff like that?
So
Anything interesting there?
I didn't manage to do any because in all of the servers that I joined, I couldn't take off. So this is where the bugs come in, right?
Yep.
But that being said, that was like about a week ago when I did the testing, maybe just under. I think
Yep.
it was like last Saturday. So it's it could have come a bit of a way in the last few days. I just haven't had a chance to jump back on since last weekend. So I don't know for sure. Maybe it's a lot better now, but yes, I don't know the answer to that. I'm sure there's someone else in chat that has Evo access that can maybe shed some light. But from what I was seeing in the global chat in game, everyone was being quite positive about it.
Yeah.
But they'll tweak all the prices, as we say. They want people to use that gameplay loop, so they're going to make it really profitable.
It's just crazy seeing the ASOP terminal area. Like you have like what 20 terminals in there or something like that, and now we get server meshing coming potentially. 800 people per server. At some point in the future, maybe, who knows.
I've just been banned out of Reddit Star Citizen Discord
No.
for posting a link to this.
Oh right. Well. Oh no.
Oh no.
Well done, community. Well done.
What did you do?
I was literally in the community channel as well. Like, oh well, never mind. So, question. No, you're not allowed. I think my question then is, how much space have you got around the hangar? Because I know people saying, oh, you can put your vehicles there, but like, can you?
Yeah, this is what I was sort of saying a bit earlier. I wouldn't say there's loads. Like, you can't make yourself a whole new area. I mean, you can, but it's not big. The gap between where the surface lift goes down currently and like the freight elevator, it's big enough that you can drive a vehicle through and you can park an Ursa or like a whatever. Like it's big enough, like either tanks and literally anything, to be honest. Like you can probably land a Pisces there, but it's not quite big enough to build like a big seating area for you and your pals. Like how it was in the trailers. I felt like they made it look like you would almost be able to build like a communal area for you to hang out with, like a grand piano and all of your trophies. It didn't quite have that space, in my opinion, in the large hangar that I was in. Again, easy for them to change though. They just get the parameters and they just make it bigger because just extrude it, right? It shouldn't be too hard for them.
Especially if it's going to be like hidden away from the main area and it's not connected to anything, then they can probably just play around with it as they wish. Can't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah,
I think we're sort of like brushing around the biggest point of this update, which is going to be like the best part, and so many people are going to be like, "Oh my god, this is crazy!" Finally, the C1, the C1 finally has space and will not just clip the size as it's going in.
Yes, it'll have an
Like-
appropriately sized hangar.
And I love it. Every time someone says, "Oh, it's just a skill issue. You just need to get good," and then the moment they try it, they're just like, "Oh, oh, something's happened. Oh, I'm going in."
Well, at your home station, you don't have to worry. If you have a large enough ship, whatever your biggest ship is, it will fit in there, no problem.
Yep.
And that's the beauty of it. And going back to your ASOP comment as well, it won't matter because everyone will just go to their own hangar. You shouldn't have to use the ASOPs in the communal area.
Yep.
Unless you're on your non-home station, in which case.
But even with non-home stations, didn't they mention that like they've reassessed the size of hangars for certain ships?
They
And
made them. They
that's
made the medium hangar bigger. I
Yeah,
remember them saying that.
that's it. Yeah.
They made it wider.
Nice.
And they've like said like certain ships, right? They're not small. We're gonna actually upgrade them to the medium hangar because they need the space. And I think that's what happened to the C1.
Does anyone remember in 319 there was the issue with the ASOP terminals? Like
Which issue?
okay, well, yeah.
Yeah,
Let me narrow this down a
there's
little
been
bit.
a lot.
Sorry, this is Star Citizen.
Yeah,
my
we got
bad.
picked up.
Yeah, there was a that's it. Yeah, there was an issue where on planets ASOP terminals weren't working, or like Area 18, I
Yeah.
think it was. And I made a killing in game because all I was doing was spawning it by Genie, going, "Anyone need a lift?" And there'd be like 23 people sat at Area 18, be like, "Yeah, I need a lift." And then I'd be like, "Remember to tip your driver." I think I made like several 100,000 AUEC just by
Nice.
landing,
Nice.
picking people up, taking off again, going back out. Because as long as you landed and took off in time, it wouldn't trap you there. You wouldn't have to use the ASOP terminals.
I mean, that's all good and well for now, but when hygiene comes in and that people can go to the toilet, you won't want to do that.
I'll hire a
People
maid.
would-
I'll hire
they-
a maid. That's what that'll be.
They will not treat your ship with respect.
If they make
will-
maid blades, they'll be like, no, we need more lemon pledge. You know.
Yep. Or a flamethrower.
or just self-destruct the ship and call it back again.
Yeah.
Probably
So
easier.
Magnus has got potentially the best idea that I've heard of having in the personal hangar. And if you've got the space off to the side, is the Sulan, which we all got, apart from people that hate alien stuff. And situate that in the corner of your hangar.
Damn mouth.
I looked directly at you as I said it as well. Yeah, so he's going to park his Sulan right in the corner and have it his little guest room. Providing you can bedlog in there.
Wherever you like, just not in my hangar.
Well,
Or anywhere near it.
I'm hoping with the Polaris it'll get me the XL hangar, and then I think I was just thinking before when we were talking about it, like having a fighter just parked off to the side instead of having to call it in. So if I need to, I'll be like, oh, let me just jump in my fighter actually, and then you can just park it back there again instead of actually storing it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Yeah. And there's enough room to do that with some ships, like, but you couldn't, for example, probably fit, I don't know, let's say a heavy fighter like a Vanguard. I don't think you'd be able to cram one of those on the side of the hangar. On the XL, sounds like you probably can. It sounds like that thing is huge. But on the large hangar that I was in, there was enough room, but not quite enough for my liking. I would like a bit more of an expansion there to really be able to have like a little sofa area, and like a properly spread out and be able to spawn any of my other ships in and bring it up and then park it over. But yeah, honestly, the freight elevators are brilliant. The inventory system is really cool. It's a bit odd at the moment because they still haven't got rid of the interface for the normal inventory system. So when you're on like a planet and you press I, you bring up your inventory. That's still there, but doesn't do anything anymore because you have no more global inventory at the planet. Guess when you land somewhere else, you can drag stuff there.
Yeah.
But for your home planet, it's all in your freight elevator, so you have to go in and get it.
Everything's becoming physicalized.
It is really cool. It's really cool to just press the button to see the freight elevator go down, come back up with your stuff. It's like, oh, this is cool. It is a game changer, and it's something I would say everyone should definitely be excited for. Like, if you were excited and then you weren't sure if you are still excited, definitely still be excited because it's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's gonna breathe a lot more life into the game than any other patch. Like, we've literally been hanging on with just salvaging and combat up until now, and like having cargo coming back. In fact, coming back, it's not trading's coming back. Cargo's actually for the first time being properly implemented, and that's gonna be like the lifeblood that keeps this game going, I think.
I agree. Cargo and commodities and like the economy is the one thing that makes the game as interesting as it's going to be.
Yeah.
Like the whole idea of having a certain system lacking in a certain resource and then having to have people run resources to other systems, like that's going to be the key part of the game, in my opinion.
Well, it makes it feel real, doesn't it? Like you've actually got an impetus as to why you're doing it. Like to relate this to something in D&D, you've got to have a reason why you're doing it to connect to the character. If you're transferring cargo, if the only reason we've ever done anything is AUEC, that eventually gets boring. Whereas if you go, actually, I need to do this because they're out of that and there's a supply and a demand, and if I do that, I'm the person that helped. It makes you feel like the main character.
I don't know.
Instead of just another person farming AUEC.
I got into a bad way when I was playing Freelancer, where it was just sort of like, yeah, I've completed the game, I've got my ships, got a load of resources and stuff. What am I going to do now? I'm just going to
Mm.
trade. And it's just kind of like if you when you have done a lot of trading and you know your route, it becomes sort of like you're just printing money at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the day that the Hull E comes out, and I'm just like I'm just gonna move. I'm just gonna move stuff to the next station. It could just be waste, but you know that you're lifting enough waste that you're actually going to be making some money from it. And if anyone tries to take that from you or destroy you, they're going to get a massive crime stat and nothing really worth it for their efforts. So like yeah, that's the sort of strategy that I'm looking at. Whether it works or not is yeah, waiting to be seen.
GFA, can you do components go onto the physicalized grid on a ship? I'm sure they do.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Components and stuff do. So I think the biggest part that we're missing out of all of this is certain vehicles or ships, like the A2, for example, you can restock whilst on mission
Oh,
because you can
Good
fill it
comment.
with Colossus bombs and just throw them back in the hole again and reload them with someone down in the cargo deck.
Or maybe not even reload them, just throw them out the back.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder if you'll be able to reattach them, is my only question. Would you be able to
You
take the
can.
bomb? You can?
You can, yeah. So you can take
Okay.
Colossus bombs off now using a tractor beam. Yes, you have to do the deactivate the unlock ship ports,
Mm-hmm.
but once they're unlocked, you can pull them out and put them back in over and over and over again.
Oh,
Then yeah,
cool.
I don't see any reason why you can't do that. Absolutely.
So with that can load up a load of issues there. So we can reload the what's the Atlas platform, the missile platform?
Ballista.
The ballista. We can reload the ballista whilst on deck. So now we've got cargo, we've got logistics in org operations as well in the game. It's not just about like the cargo, like commodity trading. It's pure like org, like T0 logistics is coming in now.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. It's like what's that World War II game? The in the trenches and it's
Foxhole.
Oh, yeah.
Foxhole.
Yeah,
Foxhole.
Foxhole.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
game. Love Foxhole.
Yeah, that is very Foxhole vibes to me. You're going to probably have
Yeah.
someone with an A2 or whatever ship running spare bombs, spare missiles, whatever. You know, that's going to be so cool.
Have you
Weapons
seen?
trading.
Have you
Weapons
seen?
trading, man.
Have you seen in Foxhole? There's that guy that is like the reporter that runs around and interviews people. It's like such a beautiful idea for how, like, for what to do. And I would love to see someone do that in Star Citizen. You know, when the game's up and running, we're having like live events where the Vandal attacking the city and something like that. You just got this one guy just like running through and it's like, "Hi, I'm calling from like Titan News. Can you tell us what's happening today?" And there's some marine just going like, "What?" Like,
Hey,
get out of
I'm
here.
Swanky Fisherman with the Quantum Dispatch. You care to share a word on what's happening here? Get down, sir. This is a war zone. No,
It's
seriously,
kind
I need this. I need that. You have no idea how close I am to being fired. Please, please give me the scoop.
We've got reporter vehicles, right? We've got like the news truck ships.
Yeah.
So, well, they're not in the game
the
yet,
Mako?
but when they
What's
do.
the Reliant the
Mako?
Mako?
Mako? Something like that.
Mako,
Is that what it's
the
called?
reporter variant, yes.
Yeah.
Mako.
I just like in a war zone, just floating a Reliant with like the camera just facing someone that's on the ground. I mean, that's just gonna be like
It's a very niche
bit
vehicle,
intrusive.
isn't it? Though?
If it is, I think they would do well to have like a reporting buggy, you know, so they could just have like
The PTV.
a couple of like
PTV,
cyclones,
yeah.
and then like a reporter variant of a cyclone or an Ursa or something
And
like
it's got
that.
the aerial, like those reporting cars always have when you see them driving around.
Yeah.
As well, yeah.
And then
I
maybe
love-
some cameras and stuff. So when you're in a
Yeah.
war zone, you can just be like, oh, let's just see what's out there. Yeah, let's not go out.
So is
I
this a
just
ship
love
you're
the
looking
idea
forward
of,
to?
like- yeah, the reporter ship. I love the idea. I imagine
LTI,
like
please.
the really big creators like Ollie being chased around by paparazzi and the
Oh,
Reliant
that'd be
Mako.
fucking hilarious. Yeah. No,
I
it's
love
not.
it
It's
to-
not. It's not Griefernet anymore. It's Reporternet.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Shit.
I would love for it to have a better camera on it, on the Mako, for example. You know, it's got the camera pods on the outside. Imagine if it's the only one of its kind that can have like a 30-kilometer camera. I know
Ooh,
the
that'd be
game ain't
good.
gonna survive that rendering
Yeah.
over long distance, but like there is no reason to use the Mako. But imagine how not necessarily paparazzi would be using it in that situation, but like the people that record for all the Atmo esports stuff, like the Domar rallies and all of the XGR racing, if they've got a ship that they can have like 10, 15 kilometers above the actual racetrack, but
Mm.
then still zoom in to like perfect
Mm.
like resolution, I think that could be really cool.
Like
Yeah.
helicopters above the F1, where they can just zoom in and
Yeah.
like track a car. That
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Or like the American apparat, like the news station helicopters when they're chasing that random Dodge Charger that's just spanking it on the highway.
I mean,
They're like 20 kilometers away, yet they're still watching this thing pull away from them.
I mean, considering like majority, well, I'm not sure. Like, definitely over 50% of the player base has seen some sort of military service. I think it just feels that way. I'm probably way off on that assumption, but I just imagine it like some group of guys treating like the Mako and making it to do like Black Hawk Down footage, you know, where there's sort of like just over an area and you just got this camera going, and then you got like this really sort of like unimpressed like commanding officer guy just sitting in there. Like, I think you'll need to go around. Just like, yeah, that's gonna be something.
I think so. I'll raise a point for a second to throw to you all. What are we thinking of the new dynamic event? Because there's meant to be the blockade
Can't-
runner,
Mm.
Can't wait
Operation
for it.
Cheesecake.
Operation Cheesecake. That's it. Yeah.
Checkpoint Apple Crumble has been destroyed.
It is actually codename. Well, one of the missions is codename Cheesecake, isn't it?
Mm.
Really?
They were talking
Ah.
about Bar Citizen about they're using code names for things now to try and stop people data mining.
Cheesecake.
And it hasn't. It's just caused
I
people
love
to data
cheesecake.
mine and get hungry at the same time.
I fucking love cheesecake. Yeah.
Yeah, only the New York cheesecake though. Every other cheesecake is just like, no, you don't
If
need to.
have you ever tried a honeycomb cheesecake, you would change your mind.
No, I'm sorry, I wouldn't do that.
Oh.
It's just overcomplicating it, you know. Come on, Hyperion, help me out here, man. New York cheesecake, yay or nay?
Absolutely.
There we
You
go.
you can't ask me that.
Can
His
you break
biased.
it down for me? What is a New York cheesecake?
It's
You
like-
don't want to know.
It's made it very specific.
Dogs.
Grab a New York egg and mash them up.
It's made a very particular way, but it is what it is. You know, your cheesecake to crust ratio has to be correct. Can't have too much of either. Actually, you have to have more one than the other one. It's the whole thing, right?
This is like Shrek explaining how onions have layers. Cheesecake have layers.
Oh gosh.
Listen, you guys come over here. I got you. I'll take you to a good place to get some New York cheesecake.
That's it. That's
That's
it.
it.
I'm
The
coming
invite is
over.
there.
I'm
So-
coming
This
over.
match is going on the road.
We're like vampires. He's given us the invite. Now we can go.
I want to like do a tour of all the Man versus Food like establishments, like the hot food ones, so I can burn my mouth. That'd be great.
I think we're onto something here. It's no longer Bar Citizen. It's just like a Cheesecake Citizen.
Yeah.
It's like food citizen, and we just
Or-
go around.
Oh
bars
no,
and
we were already
Or for me,
planning
hospital
BQ Citizen.
barbecue.
Ah.
Oh, shit.
That's good. I wish I had one of those horns. I just got this instead.
Do you know? And something else that's hot and spicy coming out. The Peregrine.
Oh,
Oh.
oh,
I need it.
stop that.
I want it.
People have been able to like alter the image, haven't they? So you can actually see the shape of the ship. It looks pretty cool.
Did they say
Mm.
that some people
Yeah,
were
I
like
did that.
saying that it's potentially going to be called the Raptor as well?
Yeah, that
I
was.
think they're hoping, aren't they?
If they do, I would like to have a paint for that ship that says "Clever Girl," like in nice sort of like
Yeah.
writing on the side. That'd be
Yeah.
perfect.
We know what it is, right? We know what type of ship it is now.
Yup.
It's QED ship, isn't it?
QED, I'm pretty sure.
QED Racing.
Well, at least that's what everyone's saying.
Everyone, yeah,
QED
everyone,
Racing.
everything that I've seen, yeah, is quantum interdiction.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah,
So
it's
it's kind of
slightly
like-
more enhanced.
That's what I said because I thought it'd be racing because you know we've got the Raven which has EMPs and stuff,
Yeah.
But to be fair, my friend made a really good point. He said it's Aegis. They are combat ships. It's going to be combat related, surely. I don't think. Are there any Aegis racing ships?
No, we need one.
Not that I know of.
But do we need one? It's not in the manufacturer's.
If
Yeah,
it happens
I
to, work in the same way that a racer would, I'm not against it.
I mean,
Hmm.
with the amount of customization that is inevitably going to come to this game, like you'll be able to, when crafting comes in, you'll be able to hopefully reduce the weight of your chassis, tune your components and stuff like that to the point that you could take like a Gladius and make a drag racer variant of the Gladius or something like that,
Mm.
just by the way you set it up. I mean, this game has gone so in depth right now; it's inevitable. Give it 10, 20 years.
When crafting comes in, imagine if you'll be able to, you can just craft a ship but your own way. You just grab parts of something, make some absolute abomination. It's like
Right, space
Path
engineers.
Redeemer. Yeah,
Yeah.
like space
Yeah.
engineers. Yeah, absolutely. You just got a
Just like
Mariah
when
Carey.
Just
would be
like when you
cool.
have a German Shepherd and a Chihuahua get together, you got like a Gladius and a Reclaimer. It's just like, what do we do?
Smash them together until it works.
We made a horrific gunship that's slightly aerodynamic.
Oh god. The Pulse and the Nova Tank. The Nova Tank has this tiniest little hover things underneath. It hovers like an inch above the ground, and that's as high as it goes.
I remember someone getting their 600i and those huge station turrets that are around that I think are like size 9 or something
Mm.
like that. And they managed to somehow destroy or take the turret off that and put it on top of the 600i. And he had 3 of them. And I can't remember where I saw this screenshot of it, but he had like one on the top and then 2 others on the sides. I was like, that's 3 size 9s. Like, if he
On a
fires that,
600i.
what damage is it going to be doing? It's just going to shut off the ship when he pulls the trigger. But like, yeah, crazy.
It's going to rip the ship apart. But I think moving on, like more features wise as well. What I was thinking about before when GFA was talking about it, of like the trading and everything. I think Easton, you touched on it as well. Of actually at a certain point when server meshing comes in, all of a sudden we've got 400 to 500 people using these trading lanes. Obviously, not all of them were doing it. It's just
Maybe
gonna feel-
800. even.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Like maybe 800 people between systems and stuff. It's going to feel so much more alive, and that's what I think I'm really excited for.
Yeah.
It's just the thing of you spawn area 18, just giving that as the standard example, because that's where I think the majority of people spawn. And then you walk out, and there's loads of people there, and they're all doing things. They're trading. They're in their hangars. They're flying around. They're pulling ships in and out, and it just feels alive. Like
All that with 8 to, well, they said 9 NPCs per player is what
Yeah.
they're aiming for.
yeah,
And it's going to be like that scene in Fifth Element, because we've been talking about that film today, where they're in the airport.
Bloody hell.
You just got all the garbage, and then it's just crowds of people, and you're walking through. Then it's like aliens dead ahead. Let's get them, because we don't like aliens here on Quantum Dispatch. Then they're not welcome.
And then Bounty Hunter V2, you actually have to track your target through a busy city with like NPCs and stuff. And then all of a sudden it feels more real when you're tracking someone rather than just, I
Hmm.
wonder who it is. Maybe it's the only ship in this area.
Yeah,
Oh, shock.
exciting times.
You said pulling ships in and out when there's like server meshing, but I'm looking forward to there being hundreds of people on a server, and Wondark, you know me, I'm going to be sitting outside ArcCorp with a Mantis. That is for certain. And all of those people that are pulling their ships out, I'm going to pull them out of Quantum and take their stuff.
Nice.
And I know there's a number of people
Okay.
that'll be running that blockade with me.
Yeah.
I'll see.
To check for any illegal cargo, obviously. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah.
Is there like I actually got pirated for the first time in my Star Citizen life just
Congratulations.
last week, like with a
By an
Mantis.
AI.
No, it was a player. It was 2 of them. They pulled me out of Quantum, like when I was jumping from Lawville to Everest, and they just I was in my C1. I couldn't do anything about it. They just got me, and I was like, they said that master modes, if you're in nav mode, is going to make it easier to run. That clearly, I mean, the older patch I would have been able to have run, but like, I would like to see if that's what they're intending for sort of like, because it reduces the speed of your ship. Is there any way to counter that, or do you just have to switch out to SCM mode and engage, like, because your shields won't come up that quickly. So
Well, your shields come up pretty rapidly once you drop out of
Mm.
nav mode. But I think the easiest way to evade, if you have time, is to pop noise, invert, and then fly towards them. And if you don't have time, hold on and just pray, I suppose. Just pray to Chris Roberts, and I'm sure you'll get out unscathed.
nah, couldn't
But-
outrun them. It was
Was
really
it a
brutal.
mantis? I mean, obviously you pulled out quantum, so it was a mantis.
It was a
The man-
mantis and it was a mantis and an F7A, and they just
So
ruined me.
I believe at the minute, just purely because of the mantis, you say you were in nav mode. You probably weren't in nav mode because it's supposed to block you from going to nav.
Well, no,
So
I was
you-
in nav mode because I was in quantum, and you're in quantum when you
It was
go
switching.
You have the same
when-
speed, don't you? for
when you
quantum?
get
Oh, it's
pulled
good.
out,
Ah.
and then
was you still in nav mode, or did it drop you into SCM?
No, but
to be honest, oh yeah, go ahead.
so the way it works is that the increased speeds is because your quantum drive is able to spool up, but because the mantis blocks interferes with your quantum drive, it makes you you can't go as fast as you would normally be able to go.
Ah.
It doesn't fully like unlock nav mode,
Spool up,
almost, if that makes
right.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I immediately switched to SCM mode when I got pulled out. I whacked all power to shields, and then I was like dumping countermeasures left and right. But I was just a big target for those ships, and they had like the Omniski laser cannon loadout on F7A and a Mantis, so it was like game over.
Yeah, that's unlucky.
Yeah,
Especially with a
especially
mantis. I think the only way you can counter a mantis, sort of like not counter, but like delay him and put him off, is EM missiles, because obviously he's got his QED up. He's a massive EM target.
Yeah.
But if you can get missiles on him, he's got no choice other than to firm the missiles or shut down his QED.
I was down in like 5 seconds. Those cannons
Yeah.
do pretty like
They're
there's not
disgusting.
much doing that.
They're
And you know,
disgusting.
I think the thing that's a bit annoying about it is you're going from Lawville to Everest, and you kind of hope that that's sort of like that area there is kind of relatively secure. But it's like when you're going between the areas of Hurston and Crusader, that's when it gets sketchy. You know, that's how I kind of feel that it should be, because one of the things I'd like to see that we were discussing before is them incentivizing players to be in those huge areas like New Babbage, Lawville, and Horizon. So we see a lot of the player base actually going, you know what, I don't need to take my ship. I'm just going to run some missions here and just chill out and make easy money. And then you see, like, I want to see those areas absolutely fleshed out with like NPCs and everything. How dare you?
Well, I mean, I think they kind of are though, because when you look at the missions as they stand currently, if you're doing bounty missions, you can still do them, in that little planetary area, right? For whether it be Hurston or Crusader or Microtech, you can kind of do bounties there. You can run cargo between there and there. I do think though, and One Dark and myself were discussing this earlier, and CJ about the changes that are coming up with 3.24. Yeah, that it's gonna create more of an issue for people to be pulled out of quantum and kind of giving people things to do, as far as people getting people to protect them, or I do think that we're going to see an uptick in people being snagged, so to speak.
Yeah.
And people are going to have to learn how to deal with it or counter it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think what might happen as well is when Pyro gets released, you'll see Pyro as being like the unlawful area, and you'll see the security aspect of Stanton, depending on where you are. Like I think Crusader, Microtech, they're gonna have, and if actually, I think pretty much they're gonna have much higher security than what they currently have, because right now you're seeing events happen and there's players just waiting outside of stations killing new players, and it's just like that shouldn't be happening even in a medium security area. Like those stations should be able to like launch a missile and take out anyone that's a threat, and reputation isn't really doing what it's supposed to right now. Like, if someone's got a reputation of killing multiple players, that player shouldn't be allowed anywhere near a station in like Crusader or Hurston, like, so on and so forth. So
I wholeheartedly see it happening the way it happened when they did the pyro playtest, not the pyro playtest, the meshing test, right? People jumped through and they were getting attacked as soon as they got to pyro. It's gonna happen. It's just that's how people are, right? Pyro wasn't as I think pyro
that's
when
what
the
it's there
playtest
for.
came out, it was just as lawless as people expected, but I think some people expected more. Because I'll be honest with you, I was in pyro and didn't get attacked once, and just out of spite, I flew around that dirty system with an origin ship. That's just me. But I didn't.
Begging
Nobody
for
ever.
it.
Yeah, and nobody ever attacked me. Nobody ever did anything, and I was like, oh, okay, well, poor. I don't know. I think it's just going to be interesting how people how the dynamics change, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you add the big dynamic of being able to go from pyro to Stanton, and being able to get something if you need it.
There
and
needs to be a
just kinda
difference.
go
Yeah.
muck about if you want to stay away. Yeah.
I wonder if you have rep, like system rep, so not just rep
Mm.
around like Crusader
Mm.
or whatever, but like
Yeah.
the Stanton system with all the
Yeah.
jump gates at the other side. Will the security at the jump gate be like, this person is like a mass murderer in this, and we don't want them in Stanton at all? Will they then launch as soon as you come through the jump gate? Will there be security to stop you coming into Stanton? Kind of like a border patrol, but for an entire system, because that then gets around the issue you're talking about, Easton, where there are people that just have such a high crime stat, and there's really no downside to just murdering people in the game right now.
No,
You can
not-
jump
Yeah.
in, kill as many people as you want, and go to prison. You can bodge your way out of prison by going down to the mines and getting out in like 10 minutes, even with like an 18-hour
Yeah.
sentence, and then you're back doing it again. So there's just not enough of a punishment yet.
And like that sort of gameplay should be there, like, definitely, because like I have even done it before and I
I
enjoy it.
agree.
But
Yeah,
like, there's like the whole situation of, though, there is a point where you're trying to build an ecosystem in game so that players can interact with each other, and you have this system for new players to get enrolled into. And if that gets disrupted, then that really hampers on the population of the game, which I think is a big issue.
100%. No one trusts each other. Like if you landed on
Yeah.
a planet right now and you were trading and there was another player, you're like, what are they doing? What are they doing? They might kill me. They might
Get
steal my
your hands off my
cargo.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no like, you don't have a moment where you just talk. Sometimes you do, but you don't have those moments where you just go, hey, how are you doing? Where are you heading? What are you doing today in the verse? Like there's none of that. Like that building of the universe. It's just like, quickly get to my ship, lock all the doors, take off. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, we don't. That needs to change in Stanton. In Pyro, fair play, but that does need to change.
I
We
think
don't even share elevators.
Yeah.
No. Yes.
yeah, that's
That's
the thing in the
right.
game right now.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I when it comes to reputation, though, like, I don't think it's going to be location based, even though that
Faction.
might be a
I
really
think it'll
cool
be
way of
faction.
working. I think it's going to be faction, and I'm wondering if they're going to do a system where you have, like, you've got Crusader security, Microtech security, Hurston security, and then for all those other areas, like all those rest stops and stations and stuff like that, you're gonna have like the Canadian Mountie version, which is basically, sorting out all the other areas. So, like, I don't know, CDF, they're a good example. I think they're kind of like they were stationed at Jericho during Xenothreat, and like they're all over the place in that system. So for Stanton, it'll be like CDF. If you come through a jump gate and you got if you've been shooting up people in the area, you're gonna have a crap CDF reputation.
Well, I
So
think it's gonna be the UE Navy, because
yes,
when you look at it with the Laura Stanton, yeah, the UE sold the planets and the moons or whatever to these mega corporations, but the system itself still
It's still
belongs to
theirs. Yeah.
Yeah, it still belongs to UEE, and when you quantum away, it tells you when you're entering UEE jurisdiction. So it's like kind of one of those things where once, again, everything is kind of half baked right now. So I would imagine that once they get a reason to have UEE rep in, if you're walking around acting like a jerk, your rep will show.
Waffling.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I was wondering like who would actually own the jump points, but it makes the most sense for the UEE to be the ones who control them.
Yeah.
There's- Yeah, I may have given you a planet, but nah, the rest of it's mine, mate. Like, well, I'll take your money. That's fine, but the rest of it is up to me.
And then when it comes to Pyro, that shit will hopefully be contested. So it's sort of like if that faction that you're supporting owns that station, then they're going to be able to defend the jump gate, and then you just have to try and take that over.
Oh, that's made me feel like Helldivers esque. Like there could be
Mm.
systems where they go, by the way, this
Yep.
system is going to be attacked. You have to defend certain planets at a time. There will be coordinated strikes. If you can push them back, then you save that planet. If you can't, then that planet falls to the Xenos. It falls to the Vanduul, and then you've got to fight it back. Like those again. This is very far in the future. This is me getting overexcited. But an event like that where you go, by the way, Pyro's being attacked by the Vanduul and we have to defend all of it. Here's where the main battlefronts are.
I was like, no, let that place go.
Oh, oh,
Planet Side
oh.
2 style, if you've ever played Planet Side 2.
Oh,
those
yes.
ones, yeah.
Oh, yes.
It's all about incentives, right? Like you can have unlawful players and lawful players. I hope that they make the Vanduul attacks so damn severe that all players basically go, yeah, we just
Yes.
need to band together or we're all gonna lose. Like,
I don't want it to be easy. I want to feel the threat. I want to feel the danger. I want to be like,
Yeah.
oh shit, I've come alone. This was a really bad idea. I need to get everyone and come back.
And you have like those people, like I see myself with my Valkyrie, like flying into contested territory. UEE's covering me, and I'm flying down to a civilian location doing missions where I'm getting civilians onto the ship, and they've got all their belongings and stuff with them, and I'm taking them to a capital ship for like humanitarian missions and stuff like that. That's the sort of stuff that I would really like to
Are we
see.
being saved, Mummy? Yes, it's Ethan again. Oh, I love
No, they're not going to put kids in game. Todd Pappy mentioned that. He said,
Oh,
"You're all
okay.
sick. You're all sick in the
For-
head.
for-
We know what you do."
For people like
We
you,
see
wasn't
you-
it? Because the reason we can't put them in.
Not... It's like just when Todd Pappy's response to that was absolutely ridiculous and well said.
I mean, I do think that the majority of things that happen in the game need to have a little more. I know we're kind of off topic, but for instance, I know everybody was what's that term you use? Windark, Wingen, about the
Whinging.
Wine and ammo.
We've got two bones of
the
contention we need to
flares
talk about.
and Pyro.
Oh yeah.
The
Coronal
Pyro, like,
ejections.
oh, yeah, they happen too frequently and yada yada yada. Cool. Have them happen less frequently, but have them do way more damage.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they happen less frequently, but when you do get caught in one, you kind of pay for it.
Mm.
That's kind of my thought process at least.
Yeah.
I think that is I think that's a good kind of two halves, right? Because everybody got all upset about when they kind of reconned Pyro, and it became more, it had more infrastructure, so to speak. So yeah, if you're gonna keep some of the things, then freaking, again, consequences. That's Chris's big thing, right? Everything you do has consequences.
Yeah.
I kind of hope if we have these big like battles where they're saying, like, the theory you had a moment ago where it's like they're going to attack this location. Unpopular opinion. I believe you should be able to pick a side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that also has
I think if you want to be Xeno, like you could fight with the Xeno, or if
I
Ninetales
agree.
do a takeover, you can help out the Ninetales.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
that will happen with rep though. I think that's where the rep comes into it, because I don't think you'll be able to pick a different like species. I think they've said you can only pick human. I think that's always been the goal for Star Citizen. I don't think you can pick Xeno or any of the alien races, but I think we can with rep. If you want to have good rep with Xenos, you can buy Xeno ships or Xeno weapons or Xeno shields. Then there's no reason why you couldn't side with them in combat to build that rep. I think
Yeah.
that is going to be possible. Yeah.
Apart
But
from
even
the
that-
Vandal, the
that
Vandal
was a,
you can't
that
negotiate
was a
with.
thing.
Oh,
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
a thing to begin with the last what's this mission they did? Not Xeno Threat. I've never played the bad side of Xeno Threat, so I'm not sure if you get if a mission pops for that or not for you to go and help Xeno Threat. But I know for what was it?
Oh,
Lockdown
I know. Yeah.
lockdown mission.
Ninetales lockdown. So
Not
Ninetales.
you got
Ninetales.
you got
Yeah,
yeah.
you could pick the bad side and you could pick a side. You could pick which side you want to help with. But I think in order to get the bad side, you already had to have a crime stat.
Those poor terrapins.
Oh, cool.
You got a Ninetale sympathizer thing.
Yes.
If you
Yeah.
that was it. And then that basically
Oh.
made you KOS to all security, I think, at that point.
It did.
And players.
I was on Crusader, wasn't it? With the
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Orison ones.
Orison. Yeah, that's it. Siege of Orison. That's the name.
So yeah, but you should definitely have the free ability to help Xenothreat if you want to. And I think I would like to be able to help the Vandal out, but the Vandal kill everything, so I doubt that's
it could be like on a very small scale. For example, like you get like the lawful and lawless missions. You could have little missions of like you get a small audio log comes through, and if you listen to it, it goes, if you want to do it, do your part by doing this, and it's sabotaging an array. It's doing this. It's doing that. It's something on a small scale that then means that they have a better chance of succeeding. Because then that could also come with maybe you get a small Vandal relic. They're obviously using you because it's the Vandal, and like you said, they kill everything. But you do that, you disable this array, they get in undetected, it causes a large battle, but you have done your part, and they give you thanks for that. You're a little tool for them, and you've done your bit by helping the Vandal.
I think, like in terms of like severity when it comes to networking with aliens, you're gonna have Banu. We're gonna be like the easiest because they're friendly, and they have different factions within them, so there might be some that are slightly harder. Then you got the Jean, which we don't know much about them, but they're they might be pretty snobby and don't want to talk to you. Then you've got like Tavarin. A lot of them hate humanity, so that they'll be slightly more difficult. And then you got Vandal, which I honestly think the only way you can interact with Vandal will be by straight up killing them, because that's all they know.
I feel like if you wear that stupid Vandal mask, they should like you.
Hey, it took me a long time to get that mask.
You just stroll onto their ship with the mask on.
Just with the mask on,
people.
and they should love you.
You have to be butt naked and wear it, and just be like T-pose, just be like,
you look squishy.
You've been in zero G for too long. You look squishy. Oh boy, that's funny. I like that.
Right, so
I'm afraid. Oh yeah.
That's fine. I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah. Go.
Right, so we are about to lose Ethan now. So thank you, Ethan, for your time tonight.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you on Sunday, hopefully.
No, awesome stuff, guys. Great to see you all, and thanks again for having me on this crazy podcast. And just reading chat right now.
Yeah. I'll see you in a bit.
Just watching.
Cheerio, bye. You shall not be missed. So, two of the other bones of contention in the community going around today is obviously the announcement, obviously, like the changes that are going to happen with cargo and just how long it's going to take players to load up ships such as like the Hull C, D, and E. Because although you could do it automatically, it's never going to be as efficient as doing it with manual labor, and doing that with a crew and inspiring a crew to come and help you on this mad task of fully loading a Hull C. And then the other one is bed logging. We're apparently going to see the end of bed logging as we know it. And what does this mean? Are we going to be persistent in the universe forevermore? Because I wouldn't care about that. If I was on a Javelin and with very kind of Easton to follow us.
Thanks, Easton.
Cheers, buddy. Then we're going to make use of those beds, and you actually log in and say, is Swanky here? He's asleep, he's on the bed there. He's logged out. It's cool, sound. Yeah, it's gonna be better than looking at just an empty bed.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think I'm quite excited for it because I know I saw something somewhere where they wanted it to be that you were always with server meshing and obviously stuff like that. It's actually going to become feasible, but you were always kind of in game where you are when you log out.
Hmm.
You know, like you said, actual persistence, and then that will then feed into like cleanliness and hygiene and food and everything else, which kind of bands all those things together, which would be quite nice. But I agree, I quite like that. Like with me getting the Polaris, I like the idea that there's a good few of us on there. We've gone out to some random point in a system somewhere, park the ship up. If any of us gets on, there's a couple of ships in the hangar. We can go out and rendezvous and check things out and stuff like that. And you know, that feeds into Death of a Spaceman. Like that feels more immersive than you die in the middle of space and all of a sudden you wake up in a bed. Or like you backspace, for example, you log out and you're sat nicely on your MSR looking at the stars and you wake up in Area 18 again. You're like, oh shit, my MSR's out in the middle of nowhere. Damn it, I don't know where it is. I left all my stuff on it. Oh, I didn't saw it in a hangar. Oh no, you know. And you just go from there.
So I
If they
know.
put in the ability for you to find your ship, I would have zero issue with
Oh,
them constantly
Hyperion.
putting me back
Yeah,
at
you
my
know
main
what?
place.
Yeah, there is that.
Mhm.
So I know that obviously GFA, you are a cargo player as well as you, CJ. Now, obviously, we spoke earlier, and we'll go over what we talked about. But GFA, like, what are your immediate thoughts for cargo? Are you happy with the whole like, oh, it's not going to be instantaneous and it's going to require time, and if you want to go somewhere faster, then you need to enlist the help of your friends and org mates, potentially transactional, send them some Alpha UEC, maybe UEC in the
Yeah,
future.
I love
Mm.
it. I think it's a huge bonus to the game. I get it's not for everyone's taste, but you can automate it. You just have to pay. You can still do it the way we've been doing it. It just takes longer. So that you can still load your ship and it will just sort of spawn in, but it will be really slow. You basically have to pay a fee for the staff of the station to fill your ship up. So you
Yeah.
don't have to do it manually, but you lose profit by doing which is how it should be because you're paying for the services of the station. I love it. I think it's great. I'm a massive cargo player. I have never done cargo running in a group. I've always just done solo cargo running. So for me, it's definitely going to be a game changer because I won't be able to fill up a carrick. Well, to be fair, the carrick still doesn't have modularity, so we can't fill up a carrick anyway manually. So that's a question I think CIG haven't answered yet about what's happening with that ship for cargo running because
Yeah.
we can't manually load it. But you know, even with a C2, I can't imagine myself enjoying manually loading a C2 with SCU containers unless they're ginormous SCU containers. If it's going to take me,
ones, but it would still take ages, wouldn't it?
yeah, it's still
Yeah.
going to take you a solid like, who knows? It depends. If it's all on a freight elevator next to it, then it won't maybe not too long, but it's still going to take you like 20, 30 minutes in some occasions to fill up a ship. That's a lot of time wasting on just filling up the cargo grid if you then don't make a massive profit at the other end. Like imagine landing somewhere, spawning in the cargo, loading your ship takes you 40 minutes just to load your ship. You take off and you get killed by a pirate or a troll just
By
hovering
CJ.
above. Like CJ just above in his mantis or whatever. Like it would make me close the game down. If I would be like, right, I've just spent an hour doing that. I'm now dead. I'm out. So I think there needs to be other systems in place before it really takes fruition and for it's actually good. But personally, I love where it's going. I love what it will be. I don't know if this is it. You know, I think there's a lot of things that haven't been fully considered yet in the beta stages, but I'm here for it, and I'm very excited to do multi-crew cargo because I've never done that, and I'm very excited for that.
I agree. I think to add to that as well, GFA, you prompted something in my head when you were talking about that of the fact of I think the way it is now, people have become too used to it being too easy. Like I shouldn't be able to load 500 something plus SU onto my Caterpillar in an instant. Like that shouldn't be a thing. If we want the immersive game that we want, which everyone says that they do, and they don't break the immersion, don't break the immersion. Like you shouldn't be able to go, oh look, however many thousands of tons this is now instantly on my ship and it's perfect and it's quick and it means nothing. It should have a cost and a time cost. And if you're lazy and don't want to do it yourself, it should cost you and it should take time. If you want to do it yourself, you can do it yourself. You get your friends to join in. Like that encourages that multi-crew gameplay, which is like what I'm looking forward to. And somebody made a really good point. I was chatting to someone think it might have been on Twitter. I was chatting to someone, and they were saying about how all of a sudden I'm no longer going to be there as an escort. I'll be there as an assistant. So you don't hire someone as a fighter escort; you hire them as a gunner and then a loader. And then all of a sudden, what you're looking for, in global chat, you're like, anybody need a second? And you go, actually, I could probably do with someone else. Let me load my ship.
That's
And
what I'm
then
doing that
just-
when the Vulture came out.
Yeah,
It's if you think about so going on to that issue where you have to load a ship by yourself.
Yeah.
Think of a ship where that's going to be a Norse, right? Connie, not so much. Connie's probably okay, I think, to do by yourself.
yeah,
But Caterpillar, it's going to be a Norse to do by yourself, right?
yeah,
It's not a single person ship. It's not designed to be flown single person.
yes,
C2s, they are physically not supposed to be flown single, like solo crew, and they won't be when engineering comes in, all that sort of stuff. So if someone goes, oh, it took me ages to load my C2 solo,
good.
it's because you ain't fucking supposed to.
Yeah.
You're
yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
supposed to load it solo. So stop your whining. Like, just get friends, play the game, get an org, and
Get
just
friends.
load your big multi-crew ship using your crew.
But yeah, I mean they're pushing away from it, right? Like every update, we're moving further. We're the gap between being able to use a multi-crew ship as a solo player gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and that is intended. You're not supposed to have a multi-crew ship and do it on your own. I guess the argument is oh, well, I've spent £600 on this ship or that ship. Well, that was A, your choice, but B, I mean, the idea is that you eventually have AI crew. So you can have an AI crew that help you load a ship or an AI crew
Yeah.
that help you do the turrets or the engineering. So that's the way they're obviously going towards. But I agree. You shouldn't be able to. I shouldn't be able to fill a carrack up on my own manually. It would take me hours, and so should it. It should be a multi-crew thing that we do together. I just think even with a multi-crew loading a massive ship, it's still going to take you a fair wedge of time, even if it's 15 minutes. to
And
load a
leadership.
ship up with like 3 or 4 of you, and then if you just leave and get shot down,
It
think-
took me.
Well, I mean, go ahead.
Why? So basically, I stumbled across a C2 full of cargo, and it
Stumbled
was just
across.
completely stumbled across completely like miraculous. Just doesn't happen very often, I swear. But it took me and someone else about 15 minutes to fully empty it
okay,
from
too bad.
C2s to C2.
Okay.
So, granted, that's 32 SU boxes with a couple of like 16s and a couple of 2s because the way the Tetris works on the C2. But it's about 15 minutes between 2 of us. We had 3 crew, but we were clever. We had one guy in the pilot seat keeping an eye on radar. But it could be done two person. But yeah, like it's not supposed to be done by yourself. And I did. The ship was damaged when I found it. Honest, I swear, officer, it wasn't me.
And we all believe you.
I mean,
Yes.
they're gonna be people though that that's what they want to do. Like they're waiting for that.
Yes.
You know, they're waiting for their time that they can just sit there and load up a ship and do their. You know, there's I know several people that's literally they're just looking to play space trucker, right? And that's okay. You know, I guess one dark called GFA more of a cargo enthusiast. I would say probably more of a cargo centrist, right? Because you want it to time versus whatever. But there are some people that if it takes freaking 30 minutes to load up a ship, they're gonna sit there for 30 minutes and they're gonna do it. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah, don't get me wrong, they'll probably get pissed off. But again, this is going back into, CIG says time and time again, they want people to start planning to do the things that they're doing. So
Yeah.
it's like, hey, did you hire someone to guard you? Did you hire someone to help you? Did you, are you part of an org where people can help you or people can, guard you while you're flying or whatever? If you didn't, then that's the risk that you chose to take.
100%, and I think you hit the nail on the head. Like, I will absolutely be taking half an hour to load a ship. I love the idea of cargo running. I think for me, cargo running is really therapeutic. I think it's chilled, relaxed. I enjoy the gameplay. I know there's a bit of stress around pirating, so you do have to keep your wits about you. But the side of that I love is it's usually fairly profitable and it's nice, calming gameplay. Like half the time, I'll have like Netflix or something to watch on another monitor whilst I'm
Yeah.
quantum jumping for 20 minutes. And then when I'm loading the ship, I'll listen to some music. And I love that I can just do that and just switch off. But then you have to be ready to switch on. I
Yeah,
just
you
love,
do.
yeah, and I love the way that they're pushing towards multi-crew gameplay. I want to do multi-crew stuff and play in groups. It's just not always available. But then you got to just change it up and go in a smaller ship. So I love the way it's going. I think it's exactly the route it should be going. Yeah, I'm excited. So excited.
I
think
think
one
that, yeah, I definitely think that that's going to be a thing. I mean, once they start adding more of the, the component failures and stuff like that, where, you've been flying a ship for a while with a crew full of people, and all of a sudden you fall out of quantum because your quantum drive failed because it's degraded too badly, or your ship loses power. They're going to start giving you things to do to kind of eat up that time and kind of make sure that everyone is moderately uh busy, and it's
Yeah,
not just because I really what I personally don't want them to do is bring down the distances and time of traveling too much, because
Mm.
any space game that's been successful, there's a great distance between going from one place to another. You play Eve. If you want to go from one place to the other side, it's going to take you quite some time to get there, and that's just you traveling there, let alone you being stopped or attacked on your way there.
Mm,
You know what I mean? So I
yeah.
kind of want them to keep that.
Yeah, Hyperion.
That's a me thing.
I agree. I agree completely. Like during the events when you've been able to capture the Idrises, the thing I have loved is the fact you set quantum going and you go, cool, let's go explore. Like we've
Mhm.
got time now. Let's go and set up. Let's move some bodies around. Let's do this. Let's do that. Like we've got like 20 minutes, and I've enjoyed that because that's part of it. Like when I get my Polaris, I like the idea that we're going to set off somewhere and we're going to have time to chill in like a ready room and get stuff ready while we're on our way there. As you almost see in the films. Like I'm excited for that aspect of it and the fact that it'll, bring everyone together.
For
want to
sure.
like just raise a quick thing that people need to be aware of, and I'm making it aware now because hopefully it gets not fixed, but it's a good way of people going to make money in 0.24
Mhm.
is you're now going to be able to store SCU containers of cargo in stations, right?
Yes.
So if I'm going to take Seraphim, for example, now. So comes 0.224. 0.24? Yeah, it is. That's weird.
Yeah.
We're going to be able to take components off of ships as well as store things, take weapons off, and snap them to grids. So we're going to have full cargo removal gameplay now, no, component removal gameplay now, where we're going to be able to sell them at a cost. Like before, it was a pain in the ass. They never snapped to a grid. They were terrible to try and like sell them because they sometimes were on the grid and sometimes weren't.
Yeah.
But now you're going to be able to store them all properly. What you can also do when you're doing these salvage missions is you can get certain illicit cargoes like maize.
Mhm.
The point being, we're now going to be able to stockpile maize and fill an entire station. We fill all of Seraphim with maize, and a jump town rolls around. And we have the entirety of Seraphim, which is supposed to be just shy of 1,000 SCU.
Mm.
I think that's what the cargo limit is supposed to be, or what I heard anyway. I can't even be asked doing the maths already, but you've already preloaded a ton of maize. I kind of hope they don't allow that to happen because that's going to like really destroy the cargo. But one SCU a cargo currently sells for about 80,000 SCU during Jump Town. So do the maths on that.
80 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's passively whilst we're doing salvage cargo gameplay. And we're just
Yeah.
passively picking up one maize container, two maize containers every now and then, slowly filling your stock, your reserves of maize up.
And you've got Jerry who keeps it in his stock of
Definitely
Seraphim.
doesn't use it. Yeah.
No,
Just
it's just Jerry
definitely not taking
swimming in a
from
field of
Sapphire, yeah.
maize, just like
Yeah.
hallucinating.
I think the possibilities with all of this stuff is far further reaching than just commodity trading.
Oh yeah.
Like loading the A2 bombs whilst you're firing, being able to, if you've got a retaliator and you have a cargo module, and then you also have a torpedo module. Can you negotiate that torpedo into place mid-flight? There's going to be a ton of situations where this is going to be cool. The ballista on the ground, just having an MPOV full of torps piled in the back of it, and you just constantly do ferry missions and load them up and all that sort of stuff. They've said on how they're going to do food and hydration aboard ships. There's going to be a centralized, like for the fridges and stuff. There's going to be a centralized storage location where you put all the commodities like that, and it's going to disperse it around the ship automatically. I'm hoping they do that with ammunition, and I hope they do that soon with ammunition, so you can reload ballistic weapons mid-flight as well.
I think they've said they're going to. Like, I'm pretty sure in one of the videos they did say there's going to be a section where you can you can buy ammunition, load it onto the ship, and then the ship will then use that as its pool to restock.
Possibilities are actually almost endless now. If
so
it works.
Yeah, I think adding to that a small caveat, not caveat, a little addition, a little bullet point would be: I hope that it's the point that you can go and it's like the coffee machine is full, and you go, "Oh, the coffee machine's been filled up. That's great, cool," and you use that for your hydration. Like, there's a machine that you can use, or you press a button and it actually, a vending machine actually spits out a chocolate bar, and you're like, "Oh, sick. Okay, cool. There's my chocolate bar," and that's the food element. Or did anyone ever watch Spy Kids years ago?
Yeah.
And they had the cards that you put in a microwave and you press a button and it's a full cooked meal. Like,
oh yeah, or a better reference than Spy Kids, may I say, is Back to the Future of the pizza or something where they put.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's probably a better reference. Yeah, fair enough. I'll take that.
No, but I know exactly what you mean. It'd be really cool. It'd be really cool to have that kind of stuff on board. Like, it annoys me so much going on to like a 400i and seeing a kitchen that you just can't use, and then you
or
go
a bar
on to
that you can't use.
Yeah, and then you go to like a Redeemer and you've got a fridge that works, and it's like, why are all the fridges not operational that are currently in ships? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
So we do need some stuff that makes that more interesting in the game, where you can be like, hey guys, let's meet in the mess room. We can all have a coffee and talk our plans whilst you're in Quantum, as you say, like on the Carrack, like all that kind of gameplay. There's no reason to really do it at the moment. You just stay in your seat. But if they have that immersion, or you can go and play pool on the Carrack. Anyone want a game of pool while we're quantum jumping for 20 minutes? Yeah. Well, we'll put a wager, 50,000 UEC, whoever wins this game of pool. Like, that gameplay, that needs to come in to make the game really like fluid for those long quantum jumps. Because I 100% agree with Hyperion. I hope they don't reduce them. We need that long quantum downtime to really add to the immersion.
It made me so happy, and I know this is going to be a very unpopular opinion, but it made me so happy when they confirmed that the Polaris did not have pilot controlled torpedo firing.
Yes, I actually prefer that.
I'm sure it pissed off a lot of people, but I actually liked it. I enjoy that.
Yeah,
giving people something to do, and it kind of, again, they keep saying, hey, you guys should play together, and then it's getting to the point now where they're gonna start forcing people, like, okay, yeah, you bought this, I didn't make you buy this, I told you that the minimum crew was X, Y, and Z, yet you still bought it, so figure it out.
I agree, because I was thinking about this before Hyperion, of like, at the moment you can jump in most ships apart from a couple where there's no like pilot control guns, and you can go out and you can do most loops. Like, you can just pilot anything and do anything with that ship. Like, you might be restricted. The only reason you need other crewmates is turrets. That's basically it. Like,
engineering, right? As well.
Yes, absolutely.
And now engineering.
And now engineering. Yes, I've got friends of mine and people I know who just want to be engineers. They just want to be like, we don't have the capacity, Captain.
And did you see how they sneakily put it in there about point defense turrets being worked on to actually work
on the PU monthly report? Was it?
Yes.
I saw that. I was like, that's interesting. Nice.
So now they're actually going to work.
Because they're meant to be on the Polaris, aren't they? There's meant to be a couple.
They're meant to be on a Polaris. They're supposed to be on the 890 Jump. They're supposed to be on the Idris. They're supposed to be on a lot of the big ships. I think that'll be a game changer for torpedo people.
Yeah. Torpedo people.
I've just had a bathroom thought. Do you know base building is coming? Right.
Yeah, yeah.
T0 base building is coming pretty soon.
Allegedly.
Do you reckon, yeah, but do you
Soon,
reckon
PM.
we can very quickly see a player cargo deck? Because to put it into the game, all you need is like a tiny bit of ground clipping to be able to put like a pad down with an elevator on exactly how the small stations on planets and moons are. You can get cargo from them. They're smaller than the ones in hangars, but wouldn't it be difficult? We don't even need a cargo. You don't even need a land claim. Like, would you just be able to go and throw a building down, and you can offload all your cargo there? You reckon that could be not very far around the cards? Because it sounds like they've already done all that work.
It could be, but before we get to that, we are about to lose GFA.
It
Oi,
is my
noi.
time.
Who
It is my time. Oh, no.
unfortunately
time.
is having to leave us. But before he leaves us, he has some imparting knowledge to deliver.
Do I?
Yeah, but you're
Yes. Yeah. No. Yeah. Thank you very much for having me. First of all, it's as always a pleasure. I'm looking forward to the next one. Hopefully, I can be on the next one. If not, I will absolutely be watching.
No.
As always, fantastic work, and it is my time to go. But do not forget, there is a Firebird giveaway still running over on my channel and on my Twitter. But most importantly, over here on the Quantum Dispatch channel as well. Make sure to follow the Quantum Dispatch and subscribe on the YouTube channel, both on Twitch, Twitter, on the YouTube, and that will also get you into the giveaway. All the details can be found on my latest YouTube video and, of course, on this tweet that One Dark is so lovely to show to all of you. So thank you very much. Good luck with the giveaway, and don't forget to get involved and make sure to follow Quantum Dispatch.
Thank you very much for the show. Just to,
He's done that before, hasn't he?
he's very well versed in it. But just before we go, right, this is a screenshot from I Am Spectre, one of our lads from South Africa. Also, the author or photographer, whichever way you want to put it, for the thumbnail of this stream. So shout out to I Am Spectre, great virtual photographer.
Love that, man.
It's also a great ship, but I'm not sure it's going to be as good as this one. But we'll soon find out. Thank you ever so much for joining us, and we'll catch you very soon, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Cheers,
See you soon.
everybody.
Hopefully,
Cheers,
we can
everybody.
see you later. Hopefully, we can get some games in soon. I actually want to play some games.
Yeah, we need to do that soon. 100%.
Let's do it.
Doing the cargo, do some multi-crew cargo running together.
Let's do it.
Quantum
Yeah.
Dispatch cargo running.
Yes.
That's what that is. Absolutely.
Right, peace, guys. Have a good rest of your stream. I will be in chat.
Take care, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Toodles.
Peace.
So, your question. CJ.
What? Say again?
I've actually. I'm sorry, I'm getting lost in this. So, like, what was the question again? Cargo.
I don't know.
Cargo, player-owned cargo decks is what you said. Then you said
Yeah,
put a
yeah.
building down.
I'm a sleepy
So
boy
they've got the
today.
building blocks to create. They've just built the JPEGs for cargo elevators for small stations now. So your small outposts like your Artcorp mining areas and stuff have these little mini cargo decks. So they have the graphics for them. What they could not the entities, the
asset.
the assets. The assets are there now.
Hmm.
So surely now it's not hard for them to go, player has this equipment, spawn this asset. Are we talking soon as this Atlas platform comes out that you can do base building with? Are you going to be able to just T0 as well because it's there? Like, why can we not do it if the asset's already there? Just throw down a cargo hangar, underground one. And then we're going to start seeing all of these crop up all over the place. Hopefully lootable.
We'll soon
You're
find
talking
out.
like, yeah, like for example, if you've just dropped a base down, for example, or a small outpost, that you can have a, like you said, lootable, but like storage area that has a lift, a freight elevator that comes to and from it. because that would be interesting. It would incentivize then the whole thing of raiding bases. Because when they said base building and everything else, not thinking about freight elevators, I was like, well, what's the point in raiding a base at this point? Is it just to take the land, or is there actually anything that you're going to get from doing it? If you can raid someone's base, steal all their resources, which is the valuable part, that's what incentivizes it. You find out that the Quantum Dispatch lads have 1,000 SCU of maize sat in
No,
sat in a bunker somewhere on.
absolutely not.
I'd give every game away. Yeah, no. Maze is illicit. We don't do none of that.
Yeah, we don't do that at all. No,
No, not at all, not at all.
It'd be-
My Redeemer doesn't currently have like 15 bodies piled in the bathroom.
Yeah, no, not at all. So sorry, what I meant to say was Avenger 1 has 1,000 SCU of of maize
Yeah,
in a
pillage,
bunker. Yeah, that's it. People are then going to go, oh, we want to raid that base because the payout might be worth it. The amount of money you'd spend putting together your strike team and on resources and repooling. If you get that 1,000 SCU of maize, that's 80 million credits.
That should be like that should be a long thing as well. Like getting into someone's freight
long.
elevator should be a hacking chip, and it's I don't know a half-hour timer, like, and it's just purely time-based. You have to hold and defend it,
And you have to
kind of
defend.
thing.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping later on down the line we can do something to what we see in other video games, like in Rust. They have a Pocket app on your mobile, and imagine this: a Star Citizen Pocket app on your mobile, and it will just ping your phone saying someone has triggered security on your freight elevator.
And you're sat
And
at work
that's
and
it.
you're just shitting yourself.
Yeah, that's it. You leave work, you get the sack from work, but someone's trying to steal your 80 mil of maize, so you just summon the lads.
But your maize in your fleet
ladies,
is fine, and it's worth.
everything. Yeah, and then you just go nuke them.
Yeah, Duke Nukem.
Yeah,
Perfect.
exactly.
Yeah.
So are you looking forward to this Atlas platform that's coming in? I mean, there's no definitive proof. I mean, what we're referring to is this from CitizenCon last year.
That's why I have my Galaxy.
I just want to know two things that I still haven't had an answer to. Is that Atlas platform going to come with a land claim? And if so, in the DBD one. And also the module for the Galaxy, because it didn't exist before. Is it going to get added into the complete pack for those that have it? Because complete means complete, right?
Yeah.
And will that come with a land claim? Because I do not have a land claim. I want a land claim. Give land claim.
You can buy complete packs currently, can't you? Like is the alien pack a complete pack?
The alien pack.
Yeah, the alien pack, the ship pack.
Yeah.
Complete pack.
Yes, that was the alien ship complete.
They're not complete though, because
All
that's
right,
complete currently. But when new things come out, they're not added. They're not attributed to that.
That's why they put 2954.
I was
I
going
was
to say.
just about to tell you, just go ahead and keep the Legatus pack in mind, and you'll answer your own question.
Yeah. If it's something for CIG to get more money, they're not going to give it to you for free.
But they did it for the
Unless they do a
Endeavour.
Tarkov, and then they changed the terms and conditions of it at the moment that they changed the wording of it at the moment that they release it.
My hope is that they did it for the Endeavour, and they have done some like nice generous things. So, for those that had the F7 Mark 1 upgrade, they just give them a whole ship. Like generous, right? Give the Endeavour the module for free because it suggested it was going to be in the Master Pack. Free. Like, so they do generous things from time to time. I'm just hoping it will follow suit like that.
They did. They used to.
Well, they just did it again with the Retaliator bomber. They could have just refunded people and even done so cheaper. But instead they went, let's make it the base.
Legally, I think because it was a different variant. Because it wasn't the ship that got released, it was a separate one. They've gave you a equal, like, same thing to it. If it was the Retaliator that you owned, and they then reduce the price on it, then yeah, they'll give you something. Like, they might not give you anything for it, but because it was actually a different ship, it was a different vehicle. It was the Retaliator bomber. They kind of had to, I think, legally. There's probably some tape around it, some red tape that they had to dance around.
That's you have to get what you paid for.
Yeah, exactly. But I understand what you mean. You obviously, it's a complete pack. You expect it to be complete, and it is complete at the time of purchase.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I can't wait for the Galaxy for one. And when that base building module comes in, to be fair, I'm probably not going to buy it because there's going to be enough people in the org that own one. I'm going to just.
We don't know how it's
going to
work, though.
I want it to be. Well,
I think you say you're not going to buy one, but you will buy one. Just not mention it to anyone. Go build your own little base somewhere away from everyone. Wait.
And definitely not fill it with maize.
Yeah, but it would be amazing.
And it's not. It would be amazing. It would be a big maze. Maze.
Like a little drug
But,
stash.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a number of orgs that will have platforms to build things on, so I probably won't need it. But I will probably still get it, because FOMO, the sharpest tool in the CIG toolbox.
Yeah, it's got me on several occasions, so yeah.
Yeah.
So just looking at this.
But there is going to be an Atlas platform. And they've already mentioned there are a number of variants coming out for ships that have variations already. We're going to see more variants of, i.e., the Aegis stuff. But they said a number of variants. So
I think a quick win for them would be
hinting.
Yeah, I think a quick win for them would be just to put salvage modules onto the mole.
Yes. I think we've had a discussion about this.
Yeah, just put salvage heads on the mole.
Yeah, and why can't the prospector have a salvage head? Just a small one.
Just an itty bitty one.
Just a itty bitty one.
I don't know if it would have the required sort of crushing because obviously the laser. I don't know. It's for them to work out, but I can't see why you couldn't have like a module and a laser head. Or a scout salvage head. Yeah. It's definitely things they could do. I would like to see like a little Argo salvager. Something that's still pilotable. And then below that is a drone. So you've got that whole sort of economy moving up.
I think we spoke about this before. We need like a mole equivalent, like an Argo, like mole mothership. With instead of 3 mining lasers, it's like maybe like 2 snub, like salvage little head ships or something like that, just to fly around a little asteroid field, pick couple of little like metal plates off, and then fly back to the mothership and offload it.
And obviously, the top end would be like you've got your planetary mining laser with the RSI Orion, would be something like the RSI Omicron, and just be like, just take anything out. Oh, there's a ship. No, not anymore.
Yeah, it's just a Death Star. That's all it is.
Yeah, love that.
No, it's not even Death Star. It's
Omicron.
Not Planet Killer. Is it?
It's Omicron. I'm testing your knowledge here. It's Omicron.
I don't know. I got bored of Star Wars after they started creating those spin-off.
It's Transformers, the movie for a start.
Oh, is it? Yeah, whatever.
Wrong franchise, bro.
I don't actually think I've ever watched Transformers.
The Omicron sounds like a COVID variant.
It does. I'm sure there is a COVID
It was
variant.
Hang on, I might have got the name wrong. Might be testing my own knowledge.
Are you thinking Optimus, mate?
No.
Optimus Chrome.
Eat all your RAM.
I think you might be right. I might have Unicron, not Omicron. Unicron. I was close. All right. Slap my own hands. Yeah, Unicron. I'm Unicron. It's basically a big planet that just like swallows up planets, just salvages everything. So I'd like to see that name make its way.
Hungry fella.
Right. The big waka waka.
Waka.
So yeah, I think this is probably a good place. We're dropping like flies here. I for one have had a very long day. I'm a tired boy today. But thank you everyone for bearing with us. It's been fantastic. I love doing these. It's like my little pickup day, Thursday, ready to head into the weekend. Hyperion looks like he's ready to fight off an Arctic winter.
I was going to message for a second.
Just getting cozy time, isn't he?
It's cold in here. There's an AC right over there.
I'm working on something.
Hyperion, if you were to put a hood up and offer me a quest, I'd accept it at this point.
Truth be told, I'm working on something special for you. So we'll see if that comes to fruition in a couple of weeks.
Nice.
We'll talk offline. Credits would do fine.
Gib ship.
So
Good shit.
yes, thank you ever so much for dropping by, and we will see you again soon. Sunday, I think. Sunday.
Mhm.
Everyone free Sunday?
Yep.
Maybe.
Let's
Evening.
let's
Yeah,
do
we'll watch
Sunday and see what
Question mark
happens.
for that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Right. Cool.
All right. Bye, chat.
Bye. Bye, chat. 07.